Good morning, everyone. I hope that you had a nice 4-day weekend and you are refreshed and ready to jump into second quarter. So today we're going to be starting with our word parts. So you're going to want to go to your Google Drive. You can either search for your word parts notes or you can look in your English 1 folder to find your word parts notes sheet that we started. I know it's been a few weeks now since we've worked on this because we didn't do bell work last week, but you should have an English 1 or a pre-AP English 1 folder, and you should have something that looks like this, word parts notes. And again, you could just type that into the search bar in Google Drive and it would pull up. So as a reminder, you're just writing down the word part, the definition of that word part, and then jotting down the sample words. You do not have to write down the definitions of those words unless you really feel compelled to. Feel free to pause the video to copy these down if you need to, and then we will continue to work with them. This will be the start of Unit 2 of our word parts. So our first one, let me get to the right slide here, is a and an, and these mean not or without. So we've already seen several prefixes that mean similar things, like in, ill, im, ear, can mean not, but a and an can as well. So amoral means without morals. Anesthetic is something that removes feelings, right? So it's without feeling. Apolitical, if someone says that they're apolitical, it means that they are not political. They don't get involved in politics. And then asocial would be someone who is not social, right? Someone who doesn't participate in social events. And again, if I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause the video and then resume when you're ready. Next, we have equi and equi. These mean equal. So they look very similar to their meaning. So you have equalize, which means to make equal. You have equitable, which is an adjective that means fair or equal. And then you have equation. So an equation is a statement that two values are equal. So if you think about in math, like 2 + 2 = 4, right? So that is an equation, and it is stating that what is on one side of the equal sign is the same amount as the other side of the equal sign, which is true, right? 2 and 2 = 4. All right, next one. Mono. So mono means one, alone, or single. So if you have a monopoly, that is where you have sole ownership of an industry or a company. You'll learn probably later this year in American history about the monopolies and the steel and the oil industries in the 1800s in America. Monotone means one note. Okay, so if someone speaks in a monotone voice, they don't change it at all. It's one level, one note. Monologue is a speech by one person, so we will actually get to some monologues and some soliloquies, actually, which is a type of monologue when we get into Romeo and Juliet. Okay, next we are moving on to a set of root words, actually. So this is cap, capt, sip, sept, and sieve. And these all mean to take, to hold, or to seize. So for example, captive is one who is being held. So that has this capt right here. Then you have receive, which means to take, right? So if you're receiving something, you're taking it from someone. So that's this sieve here. Capable is able to take hold of things. So you've got the cap, right here. And, capable, it's like you're able to do something, but that can, if you think about the meaning, it's like you're able to get a hold on things, right? If you're able to do something. And then you've got recipient. So you've got the sip right here in the center, one who takes hold or receives. So again, cap, capt, sip, sept, and sieve. And then lastly, we have a set of suffixes. ant, or, and this denotes one who. So when you see this at the end of a word, you're going to assume that it means one who does whatever the beginning of the word is. So maybe it's a root word, or maybe it's a prefix and a root word, but it's one who does whatever that thing is. Okay, so for example, an occupant is one who occupies, right? It's the person who maybe lives there or who occupies an office or something like that. Respondent, one who responds or answers. Teacher, one who teaches, right? You could go on and on and on with these examples. So ant, and or mean one who, one who does blank, depending on what your root word or your prefixes are. So those are the word parts that we are going to look at this week. Make sure that you have them copied into this word chart here, and then we will continue to work with them as the week goes on. Okay, moving along in our agenda for today, you're going to complete your journal. So if you go ahead and click on that link, just like we've been doing with our other mythology journals, you're going to watch a short video and then respond to a prompt. This video is actually everything that you need to know to read the Odyssey, which we are going to be looking at an excerpt from that epic poem today. And so this just kind of gives a little background and a little context about how the story was passed down, what the basic premise of the story is, and so on. So after you watch the video, you are going to address this question. The stories of the Odyssey originally gained popularity through social gatherings in which people listened to rhapsodes recite the poem aloud. What types of entertainment unite us in similar ways today, and which common stories create the fabric of our culture in the ways that the stories of Homer did for the ancient Greeks? So you're just kind of thinking about, this was like their main form of entertainment. So you're kind of thinking about what types of entertainment bring us together today. And when it refers to which common stories create the fabric of our culture, that's basically just talking about like, what are those stories that everyone knows? The stories that everyone has heard of, everyone is familiar with. Those are the kind of stories that we're talking about there. Okay, so once you have finished with your journal, we are going to jump into looking at the Odyssey. We are going to be looking at a section of the Odyssey called, that deals with the Cyclops, or the Cyclopes, which are a breed of one-eyed monsters that live on an island that our main character Odysseus travels to. And what we're going to do is actually an Ed puzzle. So if you haven't done an Ed puzzle before, they're pretty simple. You can go ahead and click on the link. And basically an Ed puzzle is just a video where we talk through and explain the different things that are going on in the piece of literature. And then it will occasionally stop and ask you questions, and you will answer those questions and then continue on. So all that you'll have to do is just click the play button. Okay, and then it will start playing. Sometimes you'll get a little note, okay, and then other times you'll get an actual question.
All right,
so as you go, again, you aren't going to be able to skip forward, but you can rewatch sections. So if you get to a point, let's say that you're at this question and you realize, oh shoot, I didn't hear the answer, you can hit rewatch, and it's actually just going to replay from the last question to the current question. So you don't have to go back and rewatch the entire video just to get the answer to that one little part that you were needing to hear. Okay, if you complete this and you're not happy with your grade, you're welcome to do it again. You just need to send me a message and let me know that you would like to redo it, and then I can reset your progress for you. But it's pretty straightforward, and I really like doing this video because it gives a lot of really good information and a lot of good context and explanation for what is happening, because this text is just a little bit challenging. It's a different style than what we're used to reading at this point. So if you have any questions over it, you can, of course, send me a message or email me and let me know. One last thing that I did want to point out in your announcement for today I did list a few of our recent assignments, so if you haven't turned any of these in, you can make sure that you get those completed and turned in. But I wanted to also note down here, we do have an article of the week this week, but we're going to be going over it in class together on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on which day you have, A or B day. So with that being said, don't really worry about it right now. We're going to go through it. I will either live stream, like live record my class when I explain it in class, or I will post a separate video. But either way, it's going to be one that we go through together step by step. So you will have a perfect paragraph to turn in. You won't really have to worry about doing it on your own time. I've been noticing a lot of issues with our article of the week, so I want to take some time to go over it again. So if you have questions for today, the Zoom question and hour links are there. You can also email me or send me a Canvas inbox message, and I will talk to you all later in the week.